Well, Donald Trump calling on Republican leaders to unite behind him, but also saying he could still win the White House even if they don't decide to help him.
There should be and there has to be unity. Now, with that being said, would I win? Can I win without it? I think so, to be honest. I think so, because they're going to vote for me.
Chris Arwalt is Fox News digital politics editor. All right, Chris, it comes down to Indiana tomorrow, but you raised some interesting points in your morning writing. Who needs to win this more and why?
Well, Ted Cruz must win or go home. Doesn't matter. If he loses all these delegates, not only the simplest way you can put it, Indiana should be good ground for Ted Cruz. It has a lot of evangelical Christian voters. It has the right profile in terms of income, education. It's in the Midwest. This should be maybe as good as Iowa, as good as Wisconsin. If he can't do it there, it says that the voters, the trend that we started to see over the last month, which is voters tuning out, turnouts dropping, and participation levels going down, the Republican Party may just be done with this process. Because remember, a vote for Ted Cruz is a vote to keep it going. A vote for Donald Trump, or not voting, is a vote for ending the process. So Cruz must win. In the case of Trump, though, having set these expectations, if he were to lose, if Cruz, even though the polls indicate he's lagging, if Cruz were to come from behind and beat Trump in Indiana, it reinvigorates the race. Now the expectation is set that Trump must win. I suspect the polls are right. I suspect that Trump is in a good position to win there. But if for some reason it wouldn't, you would see this race extended, you would see it roll on, and you would see this go on maybe to California in June.
Well, you touched on this. How much does the GOP not want that to be the case?
Well, they are rather desperate, especially in the Republican establishment, for it just to be over. And when you see these dropping voter shares, 6% turnout of the eligible voters in New York for that state's primary, numbers in the 10% range for turnout of eligible voters in the I-95 corridor primaries. We're not seeing the kind of participation and turnout that we saw at the beginning here. It seems like Republicans are sort of through with it. Now, Indiana can reframe that. They can re-rack this entire campaign in the sense that they say, no, let's keep going. Big turnout, big interest. Or they could send Ted Cruz home.
I think we have a little bit of sound from Paul Manafort, who's working now with the Trump campaign primarily. We do not have that. But he has talked about the fact that there is an effort.
Just
imagine it.
Puppet.
I will play the role of Paul Manafort. And this is what he says. He says that they've got to focus on unifying the party as we head into this home stretch going into the convention. But you just heard Donald Trump, his candidate there, saying, well, even if they don't unify behind me, I can still win without him.
I have a theory that the best path for Donald Trump forward is to not unify the Republican Party, but instead to unify disaffected voters, sort of the Ross Perot coalition, and to reach out to disaffected white Democrats and blue-collar voters, independent and Democratic. Pick a Democrat or non-Republican for his running mate. Do something to shake it up, because as we see, there's a poll out of Florida today that has him and Cruz both just getting crushed in a head-to-head with Hillary Clinton. So it may be necessary for Donald Trump to keep the entropy that fueled his campaign to this point going. I don't know that it will work for him to unify the Republican Party. Maybe he just needs to keep going rogue and keep rolling with the punches.
What was the saying that you had in one of your pieces last week? I think it was you were referencing the Afghanistans who say, better to take one beating now than two tomorrow. Something like that.
As I said, the Pashtun must be the West Virginians of Central Asia, because they have a saying that says, better one beating today than two beatings tomorrow. That is a rather dour view of a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, but for the Republicans, they may be ready to take their beating today.
It just sounds painful no matter how you look at it. All right, Chris. Thank you so much. Always good to see you.